Hi, welcome back to the Albert Family Homestead.
In this video, we will share with you all how we were being united, even if we are from two different worlds. So this is exciting because you will be able to know what I was doing when he was growing up.
Yeah, it's more the other way around because I'm the older one. So you know what I was doing while she was growing up.
First question, what year were you born?
I was born 1972.
Wow, 1972. I was still not part of the world. My parents at that time were still 2 years old, for sure. They were trying to learn how to walk, to speak, while he was just born. God. After how many years, my parents grew up and finally met each other. They got married in 1987, which you were?
15 years old.
15 years old. So what was your unforgettable experience until 15 years old?
There are a few stupid things I did. When I was very young, I saved one of my sisters. I played the class clown to get friends, which worked pretty well. Unfortunately, it didn't help with girls. And your parents, you were the first child of your parents?
No, I'm not. I think at that time, my parents already had a child and so on. Then my mother gave birth to me in the year 1996.
Wow, 1996 is when I was 24 years old.
What was your main experience from 20 years old onwards?
I was about 20 when I started work life. I worked different jobs. Like 22, I started working together with my father. I was 24 when you were born. I hung out with my friends and my clique and did a lot of different things, learning languages, traveling, but nothing special, just normal living.
You were 24 when I was born. I think it's connected since we got married in 2024.
Yeah, that's right, 2024. What about your experiences growing up?
I'm pretty sure I was already started to learn how to speak and write my name. I could remember that I was so scared to go to school. Imagine the 5 to 6 years old children or students will walk between the trees and the weeds to school, back and forth every day.
At the time, you didn't even have a highway in your area?
Yeah. Horses were our main use for transportation.
Wow. I used the bus to go to school and rode my bike when I was in school still.
Wow.
Later on, with 18, of course, I got the car and I used that.
Now we just ride on our sleepers. And then the most challenging is when I was in high school. I had to walk 2 hours morning and then 2 hours afternoon back home. And the most scary one is when we had a bad weather. We needed to get across in the big river flood. I even experienced the water is until here and then we had to walk.
Wow, you're
just
completely wet.
Yeah, completely wet.
Ooh.
Our books, our bags, notebooks. Because no matter how tall you are, the water is really high. We always have dirty clothes, especially if it's rainy days. Always. Sometimes we slipped, which was quite fun and interesting.
I can imagine. I did a lot of repairs on my car myself. I'd like to work with my hands. I hung out with my friends and my clique, and we drove around and did what the youth in the West did at that time.
I was purely growing up in the province, was raised well by my parents through ups and downs in a very simple life. I could still remember we helped them to, we call it maglubok ug humay. So nowadays it's called milling machine. But we were taught and disciplined to do things manually because that's how
you
life
couldn't
is.
rely on electricity.
We didn't have electricity. So no cell phones, no vehicles. No TV, only radio.
Wow.
It was really tough and challenging.
But build character.
Yeah, it builds so much. Like I was being nurtured by life little by little while you were living your own life in the other side of the world.
Oh,
And oh, I was very competent at school also, especially little pageants.
I was always good at school put, so I never had to learn much
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about math. You're very
math,
good at math.
and then history, and I was bad at sports and
Me too.
geography. I had like the worst grade you can have without getting in trouble.
Ooh.
Oh, I had my first heartbreak when I was about 10 years old in a summer camp, and the girl I just married wanted divorce. That really broke my heart. Yeah, it was a fun marriage, not really a real marriage, but
I almost cried.
and then when I was in England to learn the language there with a French girl that was 2 years older than me, but nothing big happened there. It was just 2 weeks. When I was about 28, I met the girl that I thought it was the one. I asked her the big question and she said no. And that was pretty devastating for me. But I took it as a challenge and used the energy to take care of myself and my body, and finally it took a big effort to lose weight.
First heartbreak was when you were 10 years old.
10 years.
My first heartbreak was when I was also like almost 11 years old. It was the first time when I had cheating issues.
Oh.
So the man was also young. So of course it's a puppy love. Even if it was a puppy love, it doesn't mean that I won't get hurt. So I got hurt and I did not realize that it affected me for how many years when I was growing up. Then I had trust issues since then. So my second heartbreak was also with Filipino men. It's also another worst cheating issue. And I was being cheated for almost 2 years. And
Wow.
it was so late when I found about it. Because of that, it took me like 2 years or 4 years to fully move on. But
I can see that, yeah. It took me a very, very long time until I actually was able to find someone to get into a relationship with.
yeah, and it's like every time I try to date again, it won't work out pretty well. And so at the age of 19 years old, that's when I started to explore online dating. And another worst experiences in online dating. I trusted people so easy. So there were not good experiences. I also did some negative things, which was, I think, normal. But it doesn't mean that I didn't love those past relationships. I loved it. The only thing is, they were not the one for me. And I just walked through. I believe it was the process and the we called twist of fate so that I could come up stronger. I was on and off in Filipino Cupid. I had this urge to always go back. Like someone is pushing me to go back to that side. Then I went back and there's nothing interesting for a week or two. Then before I was able to leave, you messaged me.
Yeah, for me it was a little bit different, of course. At like the age of 45, I had a good job. I earned a lot of money, but I still wasn't like happy. I think 48, I decided I actually don't want to be alone anymore. I actually want a family. And luckily as a man, it's never really too late. So I decided to do something for myself again, trying to get more fit. So I'm a little bit more attractive to women. And I worked on myself. Nearly 51, I decided to search for a woman outside of my country. And I decided with some research and a lot of YouTube videos that I would try to find a Filipina. I went to Filipino Cupid, and as a foreigner you bombarded with messages, but it didn't work out that well, and I was almost desperate when I saw her and
Yeah.
decided that even if she wasn't looking for someone my age, still try it. So I wrote her, and luckily she answered.
For how many years he was heartbroken, we're not able to get married before. At the same time, my experience was almost the same. And finally, dots were connected. So it's just amazing how life works. You could not believe it.
Yeah, the
Who would
ways
have
of the
thought?
Lord are mysterious.
There's another thing that is connected. He was heartbroken at the age of 28. We got married when I'm 28 years old, and our wedding day also was 28. Wow.
Wow.
I think it's a perfect connection.
There are some things going on with numerology.
When I thought about the process before we were able to meet each other, it's so impossible. It's so unbelievable. How can the two people meet with each other from two different worlds?
Yeah, crazy what technology has brought us.
But I still think that it was part of the God's plan.
It was God's plan for sure.
Because if it was not a God's plan, for how many years you could have been married?
I could have been married, maybe have children, get divorced.
I could have
but
been
nothing
married
of this
too.
happened.
I almost got married before, but it wasn't continued. So it's all parts of the plan and the process. And you will really never know who is the right one for you. But
until you find him. So if you pray and believe, then God will have the right person for you at the right time, at the right moment.
I'm pretty sure God has someone made just right for each of us. And if you're really willing to wait and believe in Him, things will come at the right time. After all, everything in this world is nothing without God. So I hope you enjoyed our video.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. Have a great day.